Welcome to BusinessMan ERP. BusinessMan is an extremely comprehensive ERP solution which integrates to BusinessMan apps and web portals, which give remote users access to lighter and more simplified modules. As you can see, the categories are broken down into more granular modules, and I'll take you through a very basic sales process from the first initial prospect inquiry all the way through to the job being scheduled and then billed. To begin with, I'll take you through the My Desk area. This is an area that the users can log into and configure their own My Desk. You can see here summaries and widgets. Each user can configure their own summaries and widgets, which is pertinent to their own role. Once you've configured the My Desk area, it will remain the same every time the user logs in. You can also resize the widgets. You can also pop the My Desk area out into your browser, so this enables you to view the area at all times while still navigating the rest of the system, and you can still configure it from this point. BusinessMan has its own integrated email client where you can view your inbound and outbound emails and post any of the relevant emails to the customer to view in the client record. You can also pop this into your browser to view at any time. Okay, let's move on to the start of a customer journey. Firstly, you may have an initial inquiry from a prospect. To check to see if you already have that prospect in your system, you can either do a search here by typing in the name and it filters through, or you can go into the prospect list view. And in the list view, you could filter through things like rating or account status or source type. You can create a new prospect here if you don't already have the client in your database. When you go to create a new prospect, ideally you want to complete as many details as possible, but you can see the mandatory fields. Any of the prospect details that you've missed off, you can come back and complete at a later date. So things like first name, last name, position, whether they're a decision maker, prospect source, and as many details as you can complete. You'll see here that you can rate the prospect from 1 to 10, 1 being a hot prospect, 10 perhaps being a waste of time. Then you can do searches on your number 1 prospects. You'll see here you have a pipeline of productivity. You can create templated pipelines. This means you can pre-populate a series of tasks that the account manager has to follow up. And these will only appear in the sales dashboards at the given due date. You can add any ad hoc stages at any time with a dedicated due date. You will also see that you can change the resource or the account manager. So if I assign this particular task to another resource, it will appear on their sales dashboard. If we look at the dashboard, you can see there's no activity as yet. So we can go ahead and create a quote, which is simple by adding in line items here. Selecting an item from your inventory or a service. You can also see the actual and available inventory levels here. Once you've selected your items, you can set the quote to active, which puts it in an active state. And then you can email the quote straight to the customer. The system will PDF it automatically and also allows you to select from a templated text. Once that's sent off, the email correspondence will be stored next to the client. And if this prospect wishes to go ahead, we need to now convert them to a customer. So we can convert this prospect to a customer, assign it an account number, and then we need to make sure that we change the account status to active, which will allow us to place a sale order against this client. So now you'll see, if we go to sale activities, you'll notice that this is the quote that was created when the client was actually a prospect. So if we go back into the quotes, we can accept it now. And then the system enables us to create a sale order. Okay, we're now at the sale order stage. So you can see here we've got options for delivery, picking notes, and whether we need a job to complete the sale order. If you still need to add in items at this stage, you can do. This particular item is an assembled item. It is made up of other bill of materials, which you can see here on the right. These are all of the items that are needed to make this particular line item. So what the customer will see is the line item, but behind the scenes we can see the bill of materials that are needed to make it. So once we set this order to ready, the system will automatically allocate the inventory and we can now create the job to build this item. So if we create a job for each assembly, you'll now see the job phase. So this is where we create the details for the job. This information will be what the technicians will see in the job app. You can see here these are the bill of materials that are needed to complete this job. And if you want to include phases, you can do so here. So phase 1 includes these materials, and these are the steps or the tasks needed to complete it at any of those given dates. So you can see exactly where you are at all times of this job, which can also be digitalized. Okay, now we've got the job details complete, we'll need to schedule this job. The job needs to be set in an active status before it can be scheduled. So let's have a look at the schedule view. This schedule view can also be popped out into your browser to be looked at and referred to at any time. These are the types of views that you can see in your scheduler. You've got a week view, a day view, a year view. If you select all resources, you can even see a nice timeline view, which shows over a course of 1 day, 7, 14, 1 month or 3 months. Okay, to schedule this particular job that we're working with, you can see here we've got jobs with no resources, which is the job number I've just created. I can drag and drop this onto any one of my resources so that they are then notified. We can go into the event and see exactly what's been scheduled. This is the description. We can see the address, notes, start date, end date, customer details. We can see the resources that are applied, which could be multiple resources, client contacts, sale order line items, and any documents that have been uploaded. Okay, so we can go back to the job detail now. We have that job scheduled. You can also see where timesheets can be added if they're not added through the app or the web portal. You can add purchase orders and additional costs. You can also create your own forms, which will be viewed in the job app. It's really simple to build multiple forms using the form template, and these can be used for various purposes whilst technicians are using the mobile app remotely. Okay, if we go back into the sale order, you can see that you can actually create a purchase order from the sale order too. And this will bring all of the cost back to the central cost center in the sale order. So the final stage of the sale order would be to create the invoice. You can create a part or complete invoice. If you create a part invoice, you'll always see the outstanding balance. Okay, once the items are all complete and you don't need to amend the costs, you can email this straight off to the customer as a PDF. Now that the invoice is complete, you'll see that we've gone through the whole sales process. So if we just come out of the sale order and the job and go back into the original client, you will see here that in the dashboard, we now have quotes, sale orders and 3 jobs and 1 invoice that we've now created for this new customer. And if you go into the quotes, you'll see the quote that we've already created and you can see the line items. You'll see the sale order, the invoice and also the 3 jobs. There are many other useful features and modules within BusinessMan. If you would like more of an in-depth overview of some of the features and modules within inventory, purchasing, vendors, work in progress, please do not hesitate to get in contact and we can set up a live demonstration. Thank you.